your green card is at risk. Congress just passed sweeping new immigration laws that will impact millions of permanent residents across America. If you hold a green card, if you're waiting for one, or if you know someone who has one, the next few minutes could save your entire immigration future. These aren't proposed changes. These aren't rumors. These are active rules you must follow right now. I'm bringing you this critical update because at US Visa Info, we believe every immigrant deserves to know exactly what's happening before it's too late. Let me walk you through every single change that affects you and exactly what you need to do today to protect yourself and your family. Congress passed a major immigration reform package targeting green card holders. The government says these rules will stop fraud and make sure permanent residents follow the law. But here's the truth. Some of these rules are so strict that honest, law-abiding people could lose everything over small mistakes. I'm going to break down each change in plain English. No confusion. No legal jargon. Just the facts you need to know. The first change is the biggest one, and it will affect almost everyone. This is about travel and how much time you spend outside the United States. Under the old way, you could leave the United States for up to 6 months without worrying. Trips under 6 months were safe. Only if you stayed away for over a year would the government question whether you abandoned your green card. The new way is completely different. You must now be physically present in the United States for at least 6 months out of every 12-month period. If you're outside America for more than 6 months per year, the government can decide you've abandoned your permanent residence. But it gets worse. The government now looks at a 3-year rolling period. If you spent more than 18 months outside the U.S. over any 3-year stretch, immigration officers can question whether you really intend to live in America permanently. What this means for you is critical. Do you travel frequently for work? Do you have sick parents overseas? Do you own a home in another country? You're now in the danger zone. Here's what you must do. Keep detailed records of every single trip, every flight, every border crossing. Save your boarding passes, passport stamps, hotel receipts, and any proof of when you left and returned. If you're planning a long trip abroad, apply for a re-entry permit before you leave. This permit lets you stay outside the U.S. for up to 2 years without losing your green card. But you can only apply while you're physically inside the United States. Don't ignore this. This rule alone will cause more people to lose their green cards than anything else. The second major change is about biometrics. Every green card holder must now update their fingerprints, photo, and signature with USCIS every 5 years. Before, you only did this when renewing your green card every 10 years. Now it's every 5 years, whether your card needs renewal or not. You'll get a notice from USCIS telling you to appear at an application center. You must go. This isn't optional. This isn't something you can reschedule casually. If you miss this appointment without a very good reason, the government can revoke your green card. Yes, revoke. Terminated. Gone. Here's the problem that catches people. If you moved and didn't update your address with USCIS, you won't get the notice. You'll miss the appointment without even knowing about it. Then you'll lose your green card. Every time you move, file Form AR 11 within 10 days. You can do this online in 5 minutes. This simple form can save your green card. The third change is about criminal background checks. Green card holders now face continuous criminal background monitoring, not just when you apply for citizenship. All the time. If you get arrested for anything, even a minor misdemeanor, USCIS gets notified automatically. Law enforcement agencies and immigration databases now share information instantly. These crimes can get you deported even as a green card holder. Crimes involving moral turpitude like fraud, theft, and assault, aggravated felonies, domestic violence, drug offenses, and firearms violations. The new rules lowered the bar. Small offenses that used to be overlooked are now being examined closely. That old arrest from years ago, even if it was expunged, it could come back to haunt you. If you have any criminal history at all, talk to an immigration attorney immediately. Don't wait. Don't guess. Get professional advice now. The fourth change is massive, and it's about taxes. Green card holders must now prove they're filing U.S. tax returns and paying taxes. The IRS and USCIS are now sharing information extensively. When you renew your green card or apply for citizenship, you'll need to submit tax transcripts for the past 5 years. These transcripts must show you filed returns and paid what you owed. Haven't been filing your taxes? You're in serious trouble. As a green card holder, you must file U.S. tax returns on your worldwide income every single year, even if you're living abroad, even if you don't owe money, even if you have no income. You must file. Failure to file creates 2 problems: tax penalties from the IRS and immigration consequences, including denial of citizenship and possible deportation. If you're behind on taxes, work with a tax professional immediately. The IRS has programs for people who haven't been filing. Fix this proactively before USCIS discovers it. It's the difference between a manageable problem and losing your green card. The 5th change extends the public charge rule to existing green card holders. The public charge rule used to only apply to people applying for green cards. Now it applies to existing green card holders too. If you receive certain public benefits, the government can hold it against you when you apply for citizenship or if your status gets reviewed for any reason. These benefits can hurt you: cash assistance, SNAP food stamps, Medicaid except for emergency services, and subsidized housing. This doesn't mean you'll automatically lose your green card for using benefits. But the government can argue you're likely to become primarily dependent on government support. If you're using public benefits, document why. Lost your job? Show you're actively searching for work. Medical emergency? Show you're getting treatment and plan to return to work. Gather evidence proving you're taking steps towards self-sufficiency. The 6th change adds new categories of deportable offenses. Congress created new ways you can be deported, and these rules are harsh and allow no exceptions for honest mistakes. You can be deported for material support to terrorism, even if you didn't know the organization was designated as terrorist. You can be deported for false claim to U.S. citizenship, even if made by mistake. You can be deported for voting in federal elections as a non-citizen, even if you thought you were eligible. This happens more than you think. Some states automatically send voter registration forms when you get a driver's license. People check boxes without reading carefully. One wrong checkmark can result in deportation. Be extremely careful with any forms you fill out. If there's a question about citizenship, answer truthfully. Don't check a box saying you're a U.S. citizen when you're only a green card holder. The 7th change makes citizenship interviews much harder. When you apply for naturalization, the process has become significantly more difficult. The civics test is harder with more complex questions about American history and government. The English requirements are stricter with less leniency for older applicants or those with disabilities. But here's what really matters. The interview now includes detailed questions about your entire time as a green card holder. They'll ask about your travels, your employment, your tax filings, your family relationships, and any interactions with law enforcement. They're looking for inconsistencies between what you say and what's in their records. Bring documents proving everything on your application. Don't guess. Don't estimate. If you don't remember something, say, "I don't remember," rather than making something up. One lie can destroy your case. The 8th change allows fast-track deportation for certain cases. Before, if the government wanted to deport you, you had the right to a hearing before an immigration judge. You could present your case and potentially apply for relief. The new rules allow expedited removal in certain circumstances. You can be deported quickly without a full hearing. This applies to green card holders convicted of aggravated felonies or deemed national security threats. If you fall into these categories, you have very limited rights. You cannot apply for most forms of relief from deportation. You cannot appeal to a higher court in most cases. The decision is made quickly and carried out quickly. This is why you must avoid any criminal involvement whatsoever. The 9th change limits re-entry permits. If you need to travel outside the U.S. for an extended period, you can apply for a re-entry permit. Before, you could get a re-entry permit valid for 2 years, then apply for another one after returning. Now you're limited to one re-entry permit per 5-year period. If you need to travel frequently for extended periods, this creates a major problem. You may need to reconsider whether keeping your green card is even feasible given your travel needs. The 10th change involves Social Security verification. USCIS now cross-checks green card holder information with Social Security Administration records. They're looking for people who aren't working legally or aren't paying Social Security taxes. If you're working under the table or using a fake Social Security number, this will be discovered. The consequences include deportation and criminal prosecution for fraud. Now let me give you a survival plan with 10 things you must do right now to protect yourself. First, keep perfect travel records. Create a spreadsheet documenting every trip you take. Note the date you left, the date you returned, and the purpose. Keep all travel documents. If immigration ever questions your physical presence, you'll have proof. Second, update your address every time you move. File Form AR-11 online or by mail within 10 days of every move. This takes 5 minutes and can save your green card. If USCIS sends important notices to the wrong address, you'll miss deadlines and face serious consequences. Third, file your taxes every single year. Even if you don't owe money, even if you're living abroad, even if you have no income, file a tax return. Keep copies of your returns and tax transcripts. When you apply for citizenship, you'll need them. Fourth, attend all USCIS appointments. If you get a notice for biometrics or an interview, go. If you absolutely cannot attend, file a request to reschedule immediately with a valid reason and documentation. Don't just skip it. Fifth, avoid any criminal activity. This seems obvious, but it needs repeating. Even minor offenses can have immigration consequences. Don't drive under the influence. Don't get in fights. Don't use drugs. Don't shoplift. Don't commit fraud of any kind. Any arrest can trigger immigration problems. Sixth, if you're charged with a crime, get 2 lawyers. Get both a criminal lawyer and an immigration lawyer. They need to work together. Sometimes a plea deal that seems good from a criminal standpoint is terrible for immigration. Seventh, never lie on immigration forms or in interviews. If you made a mistake on a previous application, correct it as soon as possible. USCIS can forgive honest mistakes if you correct them promptly. They cannot forgive fraud. One lie can result in permanent inadmissibility to the United States. Eighth, document your use of public benefits. If you're using public benefits, document why and keep evidence that you're working towards self-sufficiency. Lost your job? Show you're actively looking for work. Sick? Show you're getting treatment and plan to return to work when able. Ninth, maintain strong ties to the United States. Have a U.S. bank account. Keep a U.S. driver's license. File U.S. taxes. Own or rent a home in the U.S. Have family in the U.S. These things show you genuinely intend to live here permanently. 10th, apply for citizenship. This is your best protection. Once you're a U.S. citizen, most of these rules don't apply anymore. You can't be deported except in extremely rare cases of fraud in obtaining citizenship. You can travel freely without worrying about physical presence requirements. If you've been a green card holder for 5 years, or 3 years if married to a U.S. citizen, and you meet the other requirements, apply for citizenship now. It's your ultimate insurance policy. Let me answer some common questions people have about these changes. Can these rules be challenged in court? Yes, and lawsuits have already been filed. However, until a court blocks these rules, they are in effect and you must comply. Don't wait for a court decision. Protect yourself now. Are there exceptions to these rules? Very few. The rules apply to nearly all green card holders, regardless of how you obtained your status. Whether you got your green card through family, employment, asylum, or the diversity lottery, these rules affect you. What if you already violated one of these rules before they took effect? That's complex and depends on your specific situation. Generally, if you did something before the rule changed, you can't be punished under the new rule. But if your violation is continuing, like not filing taxes, you need to fix it immediately. Consult an immigration attorney. Can you lose your green card even if you didn't do anything wrong? Unfortunately, yes. If you fail to comply with these new requirements, for example, if you don't update your biometrics when required, you can lose your status even though you didn't commit a crime or fraud. Let me give you the bigger picture of what this really means. These rules passed Congress with bipartisan support, which is rare for immigration legislation. Both parties agree that green card holders should be held to higher standards. But immigrant advocacy groups are deeply concerned. They argue these rules are too harsh and will cause many long-term residents to lose their status over minor issues. There's also concern about disparate impact. Green card holders from countries with mandatory military service may have to choose between keeping their green card and fulfilling obligations in their home country. Green card holders with elderly parents abroad may struggle to comply with physical presence requirements while caring for family. Lower-income green card holders may face difficulties with legal representation when issues arise. Looking ahead, more changes are coming. Some members of Congress want to make green cards conditional, requiring renewal every few years with proof of continued eligibility. Others want to increase fees for green card applications and renewals. Some want to limit the types of crimes for which you can get waivers. The immigration landscape is changing rapidly. Green card holders need to stay informed. What about elderly green card holders or those with disabilities? There are some accommodations. If you cannot travel for biometrics appointments due to medical reasons, you can request a waiver or ask USCIS to come to you in limited circumstances. For the citizenship test, there are exemptions for older applicants and those with disabilities, though these exemptions have been narrowed under the new rules. If you have special circumstances, consult with an immigration attorney about what accommodations might be available. I need to warn you about scams. Whenever there are major immigration changes, scammers appear promising to help you comply with new rules for a fee. They might offer fake services, charge excessive fees for simple forms, or give bad advice that damages your case. Only work with licensed immigration attorneys or accredited representatives recognized by the Department of Justice. Check credentials before paying anyone. Here's the bottom line. These new immigration rules represent a massive shift in how the U.S. government views and treats green card holders. The era of getting a green card and then not thinking much about your immigration status is over. Green card holders now have ongoing obligations and face ongoing scrutiny. This isn't necessarily bad if you're following the rules, but you need to be aware and compliant. The stakes are too high to be careless. Your entire future in America depends on understanding and following these rules. Thank you for trusting US Visa Info with this critical information. I hope this breakdown has given you complete clarity on the new immigration rules affecting green card holders and exactly what you need to do to protect yourself. If this information helped you, please subscribe to US Visa Info and hit the notification bell. Immigration law changes rapidly, and we're here to keep you informed every step of the way. Share this with any green card holders you know. This information could literally save someone's immigration status. Leave a comment below with your questions or concerns. We read every comment and respond to as many as possible. Remember, at US Visa Info, we're committed to empowering you with the knowledge you need to navigate the complex U.S. immigration system successfully. Until next time, stay informed, stay compliant, and protect your status.